Well, hello people, and welcome back to episode 60 of Rannoch, our vanilla Boreal build. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Things are busy over in the massive gigafactory we set up last episode. Lots of deliveries coming and going. This right here might be one of my favourite ever industrial spaces, you know? Just the alignment here with vanilla assets is just great, isn't it? Absolutely wonderful of it. But today, we're in for definitely one of the weirder episodes of the series. What I like to refer to as the weird mountain builds. I'm probably going to do 3 separate little mini builds today, using the natural disaster stuff, the observation and radar dish, and I wouldn't mind possibly introducing a mountain temple to the map using some of the Korean stuff we have left over, but we'll see how that turns out. Either way, the first one I want to work on is a bit of a, I guess maybe what we could refer to as a bit of a Billionaire's disaster retreat. You can imagine, if anyone's ever seen the film 2020, you'll know what I'm talking about. And of a retreat in the mountain tops for the ultra-rich of Rannoch to retreat to in the event of major disaster. And just some sort of mountain top facility out here, right? So we're going to come all the way back to Angel Hills, which we've not been to for a very long time. That's probably my favourite railroad town in the whole area, actually. Really, really fun build, this one. There goes a cargo train as well. Isn't that fun? Very nice. Either way, remember, we left a road over here that is to be drawn up. So I think we'll probably move down into Highway Road here. There's definitely no need to keep the little brick European road going. At least up until where we have the zoning anyway. Then this is going to come all the way up. Let's give ourselves a marker. We'll probably use Industrial Road for this. How far do we want to go up? This is going to be an incredibly difficult valley to navigate. How about here, right? This seems here, it's not too high up in the death peaks over there, is it? But there's perhaps a little bit of land we can make use of here to build this little mountain top facility. Let's just draw out our area for it. Obviously, severe terraforming projects will always look bad before they get worse. Before they get better, rather. Hopefully it won't get worse. And then we'll just use this as our base thing. And let's give ourselves an initial building so we can build up to it. Let's go for the large emergency shelter. It's all fit there. And then there'll be plenty of little really weird little cute service assets that will help complement this. And what a setting for this build as well, right? Completely isolated from the rest of Rannoch, which I really like actually. That's very cool. So let's bring this road all the way up the valley. You can just about see it from here as well, can't you? Just tucked into the mountain there. Very cool. Yep. Let's connect these roads together, shall we? So we have our mountain road established, which will do a little bit of terraforming and I think some nature reserve fence and rock embellishments during our detailing will help it settle in. But probably one of the most fun drives in the city, right? All the way up the valley there. Which will give us a really cool nighttime aesthetic as well, just seeing this little trail of country lights head deep into the valley. Should be a lot of fun there, shouldn't it? Cool. Let's return back to our first facility here. Pretty much anything and everything from our disasters menu would be appropriate here. And saving the unit buildings, I want to put the radar dish elsewhere, probably with the observatory, I think. But let's give these guys lots more infrastructure. We'll have a radio mast here. And now let's bring in some more roads. I kind of want to frame this entrance here, really, up to the disaster building. Let's also put in a country firehouse here as well. And then definitely, I think, some car parking as well for the rich and wealthy to park their supercars and whatnot. And let's make this quite industrial. We'll go with the Railroad of Japan car parking for this. I'm going to use the smaller ones in a bit more of a design. Something like this. That should do. And then we'll have some pathways leading the ultra-rich toward the disaster center. Let's get some concrete down here as well. Well, of course, it collides with just the pillar of the bloody radio antenna. Of course it does. Okay. Well, I do want this here, so let me just rejig that a little bit. That'll do. There we go. And I think lots of security vibes as well. Let's bring in some oil industry fence. We'll have this run right along the perimeter here. So, really fun way to actually use these service assets, because I don't play with natural disasters on in CS1 or 2. But I think the buildings still are quite fun. And from a, I guess, realistic point of view, you know, countries that do suffer natural disasters may have some kind of shelter for them. So you can come at it from that angle. Even if you're not playing with disasters, you still get to use these kind of assets. Okay. Fencing makes all the difference, doesn't it? Already that looks it's just, like, so intimidating, isn't it? Just surrounded by these huge, massive peaks. Wonderful, wonderful to see. Yeah, we do have a little bit of industrial demand. So I think with industrial evolution, we almost like to use this as a bit of warehouse admin, I suppose. Just supplementary support buildings for this, right? Also got some dirt paths coming up here as well. Yeah, I apologise for any choppiness in these edits, everyone. OBS is still not enjoying running on Windows 11. So we've got our airport apron here. I think I'd love to also introduce Japanese police box, maybe there. Which should also help our industrial evolution grow here as well, with the fire station also nearby. But there's a lot of people seeking refuge, as it turns out, isn't there? Welcome to visit our wonderful car parks. Yeah, so just a bit of a extra security checkpoint almost. Kind of like a bit more fencing around the back. Send that into there. And then with some of the props we actually get from the Japanese pack, I could possibly even use this as well, couldn't I? Finally, an excuse to use this little security checkpoint asset. Let's get a sign outside the front of that as well. And then we'll do a little fence. So almost like you can imagine, you know, if you're pulling in, you have to sort of pull off into this little customs checkpoint. Check in and show your papers or your pass. And we could even get clever with some of the Japanese props here that we rarely use. Maybe some custom car parking where either service vehicles or people pulling in to get checked are here. Something on that sort of idea, you know. Got some nice little industrial props in this too. Come the detail in time-lapse. With lots and lots of the overgrowth around it. And especially I think these big chunky rock formations too. Almost like you really want to make it look like this place has been carved out of the mountain, right? Even behind lots of broken stone, shattered border, etc. That sort of vibe. And then definitely lots of build guide overgrown through here too. The classic overgrown brushes the mountain desperately tries to reclaim what was once it, you know? There we go. There's something not too dissimilar to that for a little bit of a mountaintop build, and we'll come back through in our detail and time-lapse, of course, and decorate up our wonderful mountain road, which is already so bloody busy, isn't it? If anything, it will help us make a bit of money, having to charge people for their safety. But yeah, really fun little area that, isn't it? I like that. Next, let's turn our attention toward the astronomy. I want to use the observation center to build, well, exactly that, an observation tower. What are they called? Observation buildings? I can't remember. We'll find out in a second. But we'll also partner this with the Museum of Science as well. So I think we'll come across this side of the strait for it. And where exactly is a good question. Oh, here could be good, you know. So in this instance then, I think this little hilltop is going to become the site of our observatory. Again, we'll have to do a little bit more terraforming for the road. Nothing that should be out of our capabilities. I think I'm actually going to keep the terrain quite severe for the minute, because I'd like to bring some key roads or keys into this to flood it. A little bit distorted, nice little plateau, but I can make do with it. Bring in the first asset, shall we? We'll use not the industrial road to this one. And let's say, which way do I want the observatory to face? Now, the one over LA faces over the city, doesn't it? So the astronomy police shouldn't flag us up for this one. But we'll have that there, and then let's search for our observatory. Here it is. And are we happy with it there? Such a cool mountaintop asset, of course. And even if we jump into the city, let's go drop in by the start over here. Can we see it? Oh, we can as well. How cool is that? That's real nice, isn't it? Right, people down here growing up in a wonderful little detailed residential plaza, by the way. And we did this on a live stream, didn't we? What's that? I love that. That's such a landmark for the city, isn't it? It's actually more noticeable than the castle, which is maybe not quite as intentional, but that's okay. So this is going to be a real small, cute facility. Let's bring our roads to box in the observatory itself. And then let's accommodate our second asset. I'd also like a park here as well. I think maybe more akin to a plaza, maybe. How about we go with the Paradox one? Not something we use very often. And the other building I want up here is going to be this one right here, the Science Centre, which also has a bit of an observatory in it as well, but not a bit, it just straight up is another observatory, isn't it? Do you want to keep everything central here? I think that's probably the best alignment there, isn't it? That way people can arrive at the Science Centre. It should provide us with some decent opportunities, I think. So I would quite like keys in here. In vanilla, this is infamous just for being truly awful. We have to use the water outlet to flood our mountains, essentially. Is this going to kill anyone? No, it should be okay. It's going to go down into the rivers, I think, isn't it? So I probably do need to do some terraforming here, actually, just to help hold the water. And then just as it begins to pop in, we can start to place our keys, no problem. Shoreline required up until a bit. But you can see how it works. It's very awkward in vanilla. If you're on the PC, my word, please, for the love of God, just play with Network Anarchy. You'll save yourself so much trouble. But as this is going to be the last sort of pure vanilla series, we will be playing with some more quality of life mods in our next City Skylines expedition. And this will be the last time we have to do this, thankfully. And you can see, right, it's easier if you come off all snapping, really, and then just find the happiest little sweet spot. And then with this, we should be able to wrap up our little observatory here with some key walls. So I'll do this off camera because it's going to take me about 1,000 years. But you do sort of get the impression with it. And anyone will flood? I think just the factory will flood. Yeah, you can see where the water's going to go. It'll actually run into the mine, I think, won't it? But it'll evaporate. That'll be fine. We're just flooding the mines of Rannoch so we can accommodate some astronomers, which will be fine. And it's finally in. That was horrifically painful. Absolute nightmare. I'm trying to terraform out the land here, and the gradients are just way too insane. So I think we're going to use this little second mound of land here to help create us a bit more of a sensible approach up here. I've also decided to move the Science Centre as well because, well, the keys didn't like where it was. So they decided where it went instead. I just want to extend as natural looking as possible. Just a bit of a ridge line between these two land masses. Something like that. Again, remember, it's always going to look crap until we come back through with the soften brush. Just help everyone settle in. But at least today's episode, we're going to end up with some very nice mountain roads. I'll join these together. Let's ease out any awkwardness. We should have quite a bit of nastiness, really. Around the base is where you want to pay attention to most of it. See if we can just reveal a little bit more of that key. Same over here as well, just so it looks more like a foundation, you know, a bit more of a retaining wall up here. But not too bad. It didn't take that long, to be fair. It's just you just gotta wait for the water to find the right spot, and then the game's happy. But otherwise, I really like that. Fun little build, some of the best views in the city as well. So with the road, again, we'll move back to highway road because there'll be nothing else off of this. There's no point using zonable roads. Where we want to enter from. Now we did have, how about here? This person's going to lose their home. Because Rannoch now wants to start gazing at the stars. Which is fine. All in the progress of humanity, isn't it? And then let's just take this up the hillside, really. And that should do it. How do we feel about that? Maybe a little bumpy over. Oh, hello, Stonehenge. I didn't notice you over here. Our little ruins. Yeah, we've not done. Well, the little flood center's down there as well. Maybe we'll make something out of this then while we're here. A little bit of a nature reserve build. We can turn this into one of our mountaintop builds. Let's do that. Perhaps an old Stonehenge of the native people of Rannoch. Some sort of sacrificial site, perhaps. Just have a little dirt road coming up to that. Didn't even notice that was there. We'll use that in today's build. There's a bear up here as well. So yeah, really cool. Again, it should give us that little trail of light just heading up the hill up towards the observatory there as well. Let's get this hooked in and add some more buildings in here. I definitely love this to be sort of a major tourist attraction. Lots of cafes here, viewpoints if you're not here for the observatory. We'll hook that in. Let's do some tree line in here as well. Make things a little bit fancier for us. Let's go with the... No, Boreal's a bit intense, isn't it? So is the Palaven pine, really. Let's do... let's do a birch. Yeah, there we go. We'll have these just on the entrance, and thankfully our museum is not colliding, which will make things a little bit easier. I'm just thinking, I probably don't need that road to wrap around, do I? I can open myself up some more visitor space there, right? And let's have... These collide with keys? They do, don't they? Yeah. Yeah, you can see them snapping to the key, which is immensely irritating. It's fine. We can deal with it. But let's get some props in here. Definitely a lot of those futuristic little statues from plazas and promenades, I think will work nicely here. Especially the moon and ball statue, right? And let's have this here. We'll also search for a nice bench for ourselves as well. Some little area here. People can enjoy the statues. You imagine there's also various information signs around here too. Wonderful. But even just that opening right there is essentially perfect, isn't it, right? Kind of coming up onto the hilltop here after a big drive up, which will have a lot of country road detailing for us today. And you arrive here into this little area. The branding of the science centre is so nice, isn't it? Without that road there now as well. That's a really nice positioning. Can we snap nature reserve assets to these keys, I wonder? No, I thought you could for some reason. Am I remembering modded? Or maybe it's just the city part ones, is it, that work as things? Okay, well we want a park area. I think we don't have one we can steal here, do we? There is Cherry Zoo down here, which I think I'm just going to rob a little bit of this. Because I don't really want to place another gate up here. So steal a little bit of park area. And that should let me do it. Will you work with nature reserve assets now? I don't know why these ones don't stick to the keys, but the city part ones do. I don't know what that's about. I guess we're using the city part ones then. So we did 1, 2, 3 here. Oh, that's not good, is it? That is not good. They are very tall, very fragile supports, aren't they? And then once we stitch together some pathways with it, which I would love to have done on camera, but sorry everyone, OBS is continually corrupting my footage recently. Sorry for the jolty edits. But with a nice little campus up here now, some parking in for people to arrive and pathways to knock around, this place should become pretty busy. Only 2 unique buildings though, so it shouldn't get crazy. In terms of what we've got people coming up here. Yeah. It is actually quite busy, isn't it? As long as this junction down at the bottom is alright, we should be okay. Yep. Yes, I think. The busy one. It slows down maybe when the trams cut across, but it should flow. And this should also hold just an incredible view from anywhere in the city. Let's throw ourselves by the airport interchange. You can really see that, can't you? That really dominates the whole mountain range on the north side of the strait. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that viewpoint, honestly. That's pretty special, that, isn't it? Something nice for the mountains today. So turning our attention down to the little Stonehenge over here. I think we can have quite a lot of fun with this, with some nature reserve vibes and some fun use of the asset. So bring a dirt pathway in. Actually, let's go nature reserve here. And then just something to circle. Henge, I suppose, is what it's called. We'll have that there. We'll also have one come up. Look in there, that'll be okay. I think we'll have a bit of a fence around it as well, right? Almost it's like a bit of a keep out section. Maybe we can have a gate for any park rangers that work here. Little entrance for them. But a little hexagonal gate here maybe. There we go. And then let's bring in some nature reserve signs next to this too. Almost like it is that. The actual wording of keep out, you know. We can have these a few around. Use some few different sign props today as well. I know it's a waste of 2 nodes, but I think it'll be worth it. Just to have pathway come in at maybe the rangers use, right? I think it'll make does make all the difference, doesn't it? A lot of fun, that. And then let's dive into the Mountain Village pack and grab our favourite new little information board. We can place these. It gives you the life, times, and story of said runes. And then totally would love some little picnic benches here as well. And since we already have the park area from the Observatory, we can probably put some park assets down here too. Although we do have the road, I suppose, so probably don't always need them. Let's bring in a little cafe as well, a bit of a visitor's centre. Would the Nature Reserve Museum pair with this actually? Have a little look. It gives me the visitor centre, doesn't it? And also some very, very nice views from these tables, my goodness. We'll do that then. And then with that pathway that we just lost, let's bring this around. I'm going to leave that little elevation layer in there with the terrain. Let us get some detail and some rocks, I think. And maybe some sort of kids' entertainment to bring short-tempered toddlers, etc. Such as Child's Playground. Really fun way to use some of the ruins, I think. And if we could get our cassette in, it would at least make people walk on these pathways, which ultimately would be what we want. So a gazebo will probably help us serve that purpose. Let's have one there. We'll place a few of them around, just so people use all the pathways. And then that should give us the impression that people are actually coming out here to come and visit the henge, even though technically they're visiting the gazebo. That should be quite a lot of fun, I think. And we'll also provide some visitor car parking here as well. We'll just have one single car parking. And because these do stand out a little bit in rural areas, because it is a lot of concrete, what I would have done for some parking roads or just, you know, a gravel car park would have been quite nice, I think. And we'll just box that in with some hedge lining and trees, just so it kind of sits in with nature a little bit easier, right? It doesn't have that wicked sort of concrete edge to it. Just kind of marks the entrance into the little park there, doesn't it? We'll also draw more people too, because the car parks do get quite busy. Let's see where they go. Oh no, are you leaving? No. Oh no, there we go. He just wanted to go to the car park. I thought he just saw it. He was like, nope, I'm not doing this. So everyone's just coming to use the playground, are they? Yeah. It looks that way, doesn't it? Oh, there you go. There's the first visitor. He's come to explore the henge. What's his name? He's got a very flamboyant walk, hasn't he? You see that? Really swinging those wrists. Dexter Gray, exchange student going to the Nature Reserve Museum. Well, enjoy your time here, Dexter. We'll get loads of forest around this as well, really isolate it. Whilst hopefully maintaining the view though, I'd like to at least have that up here. I think also here, just next to the observatory, I want to use the last two of the unique buildings. Sort of related to this facility at least. First one is the radar dish, which will be here, deep space radar. And let's go and a little bit more land here. I think I'm just going to push this up to that next terrain layer, so let's just totally join these land masses here. There we go. That'll sit quite nicely. And then with this one here, just want a little angle. And then we'll place the last of these. I guess research unit buildings is the best way to describe them, isn't it? They always sit very nicely together, those buildings, and I think we'll even downgrade into dirt here as well. And then we can reintroduce some slope in here and just try and re-naturalize the terrain a little bit where we've got some harsher edges poking through. But you can imagine almost like the one on top of the hill is where the visitors go, and this one just a little bit off the peak is possibly where the scientists are working, you know. And we'll tie it into all one thing with paths, fencing and trees, with some pretty limited prop work on this build, but plenty to get involved with the remaining rebuilds around the city. Is the airport on fire? I think it is, isn't it? You can see it. One of the terminals burning. It is absolutely terrible. Thankfully the fire service is here. There you go. Just a little bit scorched and rusty now, isn't it? Goodness me. But either way, that does feel like a splendid point for a detailed time-lapse to wrap up all 4 of our separate little mini mountain builds today. But grab some snacks and let's do some detailing, and then we'll be right back. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that first person tour. Let me know if you want to see some more of them at the end of episodes of maybe some cool sightlines. Obviously if it's relevant, not everything needs a first person tour of course. Let's take a little look around our sort of, I guess, underground bunker. But the industrial evolution has settled in really nicely here. Supplementary buildings for whatever goes on here. And then the police box next door to this with the little Japanese gate just works out so nice, doesn't it? Industrial props behind it, all tucked in with some fencing. And a really sort of cute, believable area for vanilla assets, that, isn't it? Really fun. Of course, there's some industrial props available, like finest, of course, and our little pathways linked together to the overgrown facility around here. All the road has been detailed with fencing, overgrowth and rocks down towards the river. You get a real sense of Boreal Valley here, don't you? Really cool. Hopefully that first-person tour really showed off, didn't it? The slow ascent up the valley to these huge mountains up here. Really cool bit of Rannoch. It almost feels like a kind of a different map, really, doesn't it, out here? You know, you can't see, just about see Angel Hills, but the whole development is hidden by this range over here. So really fun. I actually really like this bit of the city. Pretty simple, there's only a few assets down there, but super effective way to use what is insane terrain down there. Really like it. And the forest extends all the way back down to Angel Hills, which I guess this will be called the Angel Valley in that case then, won't it? Which is a really nice name, isn't it? Enjoy a bit of Angel while we're back here. It's nice, isn't it? I really like this town, actually. Very, very cute. How are the ferries doing now, actually? Should we check while we're here? Yeah, there's people using them. I will reroute the ferry lines, I promise. We will do it. Very cool. Either way, across the strait and far away. Right, we'll head up to a very heavily forested Boreal Hills. That's the mountain road. I've regraded it so there's no awkward, horrible lumps and bumps in it. It's much smoother. And on the ascent up here now. But off towards the Stonehenge, we arrive where people have totally lost any sense of parking etiquette. And because they're blocking the car parks here. I should probably change that to a road without parking, which we'll do. A little cafe here with the Zoo Cafe. Views out, of course, to the skyline of Rannoch, which you can just about maintain the view. Which sits quite nicely next to the museum. And then just a fun space to enjoy a historical asset. I guess a historical attraction, I suppose. Signage, of course, walking you not to enter, only where the rangers, I guess, go into it. And then information on, you know, what it is you're looking at. That right there is a great shot, isn't it? Look at that, right? I didn't even realise that alignment when I placed it. Happy days indeed. That is. I'm happiest of accidents how that just fits perfectly in there, isn't it? Wonderful. Yeah, and just... Again, I think today's build has shown off how just few props can be so effective in creating some really fun vanilla spaces. Especially with these existing ruins that are on the map. And then the still sits around here as people enjoy it, and then the heavy Boreal forest kicks back in as we approach the radar dish on the way up the hill. With people coming up here. All fenced off and linked in with the Climate Research Centre. There's also another police box out here. There is some industrial zone in here, but it's yet to grow in yet. And over time it will kick in, I imagine. Here another emergency shelter with some overgrowth around some perhaps deforestation as this site was cleared. While the Boreal pine forest kicks back in. Again, just a few collections, but that little angle with the Climate Research Station makes all the difference, doesn't it? Also threw in an antenna here as well. So you can just sort of expand that asset a little bit. And then up the hill, some fencing kicks in as the ridge narrows. As a tree-lined medium road kicks in all the way at the top of the hill. As you arrive some rock work just to blend in the entrance. And then there's some path differentiation here. Props, perhaps where you can buy a program or some space merch maybe. Some science centre merch out here, right? And then some expansion of the plazas and promenade props, which is a great little alignment there, isn't it, right? Paradox Plaza fits in very nicely here. That looks a bit spacey as well, that doesn't it? Almost like a game of Civilization, actually. Now I just glance at that asset again. And then all bush lined up to the quays, which don't seem to be getting tons of use, which is a bit of a shame. I would all like to see people walk here. But the viewpoints are very popular, as you can probably imagine. It actually gives one of the best views in the whole city. Is that the best? That might be the new best. I think that's better than the castle. I think because of how it's centralised. So if we were to check this top ski lodge, I mean, that's a really nice view, but this one might be, a little bit better, I think, for some reason. Maybe because there's 3 of them. It's a bit more symmetric. We'll go with that reason. But what a wonderful project, right? To sit here at episode 60, everyone, over our work over the last, what is very nearly 14, 15 months of this project now. Not too much longer to go. But either way, bush lining happens again, all the way around the pathways here, just to landscape it and help the assets settle in. But I think if anything, today's build shows that, you know, simple and easy can sometimes be very effective in creating some really unique spaces using the official assets. An enormous shout out to the patrons and YouTube members that support these videos, with a shout out to our Golden Egg patrons, Bad Wolf, Blythe, Casino, Louis Adlam, Michael W, Phoenix MD, and Spartan Angel. If you'd like to help support these videos, especially if you'd like to see the continuation of CS1, links to Patreon and Instant Gaming are the best ways for you to do that. Otherwise, please hang around for the cinematics. There'll be a big swoop across the street as we move between the builds, so enjoy that. Otherwise, I'll shut up and leave it there. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.